Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session, Daily Takkar Rapid Series. So daily we are discussing 10 quality MCQs based on the current affairs. Now this is class 250. That means we have covered 2500 MCQs based on the current affairs from the very next day of prelims 2023. And now the prelims 2024 is on 16th of June. Just one day before that prelims, we are going to continue these sessions, and even after that prelims, we'll start the new we can say lecture series, and all these MCQs are also being compiled as monthly magazines which are available on subscription basis at Lukmaan IAS website. You can also subscribe for the hard copy and practice these MCQs later on. These are going to be important resource material for your prelims examination preparation. The lead topic for today is internet shutdowns in India. There was a recent report talking about the number of, let's say, internet shutdowns in different countries, and that's why we are going to cover this. Okay, first MCQ on this, and we will cover today 20 MCQs because on Saturday there was Panchasutra, and day before that also due to some technical issues we could not have the session. So we'll cover 2 days current affairs here, 20 MCQs. So first of all, we'll start with the quotation. We are daily discussing one quotation which is helping us to prepare for our मेंस एग्जामिनेशन ऑल्सो. ठीक है, तो मेंस एग्जामिनेशन जैसे हमारा एसए पेपर है, एथिक्स पेपर है, देर आर कोड बेस्ड टॉपिक्स और क्वेश्चंस इन एसए पेपर और वी कैन से एथिक्स पेपर, and also it is helping us to prepare or keep motivated for this examination preparation. What do you do today can improve all your tomorrows. This is very relevant for everyone, I would say, and especially the civil service aspirants. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows. So what you do today is very important. Okay, so you have your study plan. Whether you are executing this study plan today, you need to ask yourself on daily basis this. Why? Because it is going to improve all of your tomorrows. It is going to help you in clearing this examination, both prelims and mains. It is going to help you clear this we can say examination and get into the final list. Also it is going to make you a better person tomorrow. ठीक है, so that's why what you do today. Now if you talk about, let's say, study plan, but if you do simply pass the time, or we can say watch the movies, enjoy with your friends, do party and all these things, and not care about what you want in your life, what are your aims and goals in your life, then ultimately it is going to, we can say, become problem for your tomorrow. Okay, if you are not putting in efforts to execute your study plan or future plan, then we can say that it is going to be problematic for tomorrow. Why? Because this is the time that needs to be utilized to make your tomorrows better. Okay, so that's why it is a kind of reminder to all of you that each and every day, each and every minute, I would say, is very important for all of you as aspirants. So do not waste, do not let's say put in let's say that time into such efforts which can be like multiplicity of, let's say, efforts you are putting in. Like जैसे एक सिंपल मैं बताता हूँ, आप डेली करंट अफेयर्स अगर कोई एक कोचिंग का कर रहा है और फिर से दूसरे कोचिंग का डेली करंट अफेयर्स कर रहा है, तो ये बेसिकली आप जो है आपका टाइम जो है वो वेस्ट कर रहा है, आई वुड से, क्योंकि 50-60% ओवरलैपिंग रहेगा. So try to follow one particular coaching for current affairs and try to trust that organization, and ultimately it will yield the results. All right, now let's talk about now today's 20 topics, and we'll discuss these MCQs one by one in detail. What are the topics? Yes, these are the topics. Let's go in detail and solve these MCQs. What should be the answer to this one? Yes, online students, you can give answers in the comment box. You have to identify the correct statement, and I told you first MCQ is related to number of internet shutdowns. Recently there was one report saying about that India recorded the highest number of internet shutdowns in the world in 2023. About 8,000 hours. For about 8,000 hours, the internet was shut down in different parts of the country in that 1 year. So these some facts can be mentioned in GS2 paper mains examination if question is related to this. Now talking about, let's say, who can suspend the telecom services or internet services, who can order the internet shutdown, such kind of question can be asked. So we have Indian Telegraph Act, which is Colonial Act, we can say 1885, and under that we have the temporary suspension of telecom services rules of 2017, which talks about the authority. Authority here is, we can say that, the secretary to central government and secretary to state government. So they are the authority, not the district magistrate. Okay, not the district magistrate. So this will be incorrect statement. Now the Supreme Court in Anuradha Bhasin case 2020 said that freedom to practice any profession or carry out on trade, business, occupation over the medium of internet enjoys the constitutional protection under Article 21. This is correct, we can say. Article 21 talks about right to life and personal liberty, and to carry out the business or any under transaction with the help of internet, or we can say e-commerce and all these things, they are part of, we can say, personal liberty, and it is very important all over the world, including UN, let's say, declaration, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It also talks about right to internet, right to access, we can say, to the internet is part of human right also. Okay, so this is correct, this is correct, this one is incorrect. So only two, that is B, is the correct answer here. All right. Now moving on. Next question. E-pass system was recently in news. Where? In Karnataka. So two districts, Nilgiris and Kodaikanal, or we can say these two places. So to visit these two places, to enter into these two places, the new e-pass system has been introduced by the state government on the direction of, let's say, High Court order. So that's why it was in news. It is mandatory for all vehicles to enter any biosphere reserve in India. This is not correct. Okay, so it is specific to these two hill stations, and it was earlier also present during COVID pandemic lockdowns. Such kind of e-pass system was introduced. Yes, an online pass issued by district magistrate for the vehicle. Now this is correct, we can say the authority is correct. So answer would be B here, 2 only. All right. Now next is this particular institution, Memory of the World program. Yes, this program is, we can say that, the initiative of UNESCO only, not UNDP. So this is incorrect. It is not the joint initiative. It is the initiative of UNESCO. It was launched in 1992. It was launched in 1992. Now, as the name suggests, Memory of the World. So it is aiming to safeguard, protect and facilitate access, especially to rare and endangered heritage. Okay. So especially literary heritage, it is trying to, we can say, conserve that wherever the areas, especially when the conflict ridden areas are there, जहाँ पर ये सारा heritage जो है destroy किया जा सकता है, तो वहाँ पे ये protect करने की ज़रूरत है. In India, recently UNESCO has recognized 3 Indian literary texts, Ramcharitmanas, Panchatantra and Sahardayoloka Lokana, as part of Memory of the World. Now this is correct, recent development regarding this. So how many of these are correct? Only 2. Again, B is the correct answer. Okay? All right. Now, next, copper mineral or copper mines in India. Regarding that, we have to identify the correct statement. After Chile, India is the largest producer of the copper in the world. That is second largest. No, India is very much dependent on import of copper, because we have very less, about around 30th rank in the world in terms of copper production. So this is incorrect, we can say. The countries like Chile, Peru, Bolivia, South American countries are the leading producers of copper, and even some of the Central African countries. Now it is 100% recyclable metal. This is correct, we can say. Copper is very important metal, especially used in the electronics and electrical industries. Khetri mines in Rajasthan are famous for copper ores. This is correct. One of the, let's say, leading producers, we can say, of copper, Khetri mines in Rajasthan. So how many statements? Again, 2 statements. That is B is the correct answer. All right. Yes. All right, next question. Regarding this Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, during COVID-19 pandemic, this was very much in news, and every year there is organization-based, statutory body-based question being asked. Now, yes, it comes under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. This is correct statement we can say. It is the Central Drug Authority discharging functions under Drug and Cosmetic Act. This act is implemented by this body. It is a kind of regulatory body in the country, we can say. So here both statements are correct. C is the correct answer, right? Yes. Okay. Now, next, this particular species was in news. Ligdus garvale. Ligdus garvale, this particular new species was discovered, and it is a species of jumping spider. Where it was discovered? In the forest of Karnataka. Okay, in Karnataka it was found. So it is a jumping spider species. B is the correct answer. All right, species based question, environment section. It is very common questions, new discoveries. Now, recently this summit happened. International Energy Agency Summit on Clean Cooking Africa was recently held, but it was not held in one of the African nation, rather in European nation, Paris, France. It was held in Paris, France. So you can get confused क्योंकि ये क्या है on clean cooking in Africa. The summit is on clean cooking in Africa. So one can get confused कि शायद ये इथियोपिया या नाइजीरिया में होगा. इस तरीके से confusion नहीं रखना है. It requires specific information. A is the correct answer here. All right. Next, about the mercury as a pollutant. It is a persistent bioaccumulating and toxic pollutant. We know about that. Last year there was question on mercury itself. ठीक है, तो 2023 में भी question आया था mercury its sources. Minamata Convention on Mercury was adopted in 2013 at Kumamoto, Japan. ठीक है, and the name Minamata is because of Minamata Bay. The mercury pollution in Minamata Bay happened, and how due to bioaccumulation and biomagnification the impact of mercury pollution happened on the health of the people living in the Minamata Bay, and that's why the name Minamata Convention. Recently UNEP launched an initiative phasing out the mercury measuring devices in the healthcare project. Yes, several, let's say especially thermal equipment, जो temperature check करने वाले जो thermometer वगैरह होता है उसमें mercury use होता है. So we have to phase out that, and this is the new initiative launched by UNEP. It will be let's say funded through, we can say that, the what you can say Global Environment Facility, and it will be implemented by WHO. It will be implemented by WHO. So this is correct statement. This is also correct. So all three statements are correct here. C is the correct answer. Okay. Next, yes, this vaccine was in news recently. WHO has pre-qualified a new vaccine named TAK-003 for which of the following disease? This is for dengue. This is the second such let's say vaccine approved by WHO. Okay, dengue के लिए. इसको dengue बोलते हैं, dengue. ठीक है, so B is the correct answer, right? Vector-borne disease. Now, with reference to index of industrial production, this index was in news. Why? Because the government of India is considering changing the base year for several indices like wholesale price index or IIP, or even the calculation of national income. It is compiled and published monthly by National Statistical Office under MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics Program Implementation. This is correct information. As per the use-based classification of IIP, the maximum weight has been assigned to intermediate goods. No, the maximum weight has been assigned to primary goods. Primary goods which are raw goods, like we can say mineral ores, or we can say forest resources, wood, और वी कैन से द एग्रीकल्चरल प्रोडक्शन. तो ये सारा प्राइमरी गुड्स है, तो उसको मैक्सिमम दिया गया है. ठीक है, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन. राइट, सो दिस इज इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. ओनली वन इज करेक्ट हियर. ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर. IIP. Already UPSC has asked question on index of, we can say, industrial production as well as core industries के ऊपर भी क्वेश्चन आके गया हुआ है. Now, yes, mitogenome. Mitogenome is basically mitochondrial genome. ठीक है. So it is essential for identifying species and tracing genetic variation, gene pattern. This is correct. Recently, the study of such mitogenome of leopard was done, and how this evolution happened since last 1 million year, तो वो उससे पता चला है हमें. It is contained within the cell membrane that separates its cytoplasm from extracellular space. No, it is contained within cell, we can say. And in cell we have mitochondria. Mitochondria is an important, we can say, cell organelle. It is also called as powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because whatever the energy production, that is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, this ATPs are formed or manufactured in this. That's why it is powerhouse, mitochondria, and it has its own, we can say, genetic material that is called as mtDNA. उसको क्या बोला जाता है? mtDNA, mitochondrial DNA जिसको हम बोलते हैं, right? So study of this mtDNA through mitogenome, it is, we can say, this is incorrect. There are few number, they are in few number, which makes it difficult to extract and study them. Rather it is other way round. They are very large in number, and that's why it becomes easy to extract them and study them. So this is also incorrect. So only one statement is correct, that is A is the correct answer. Okay? All right. Next. Political parties. Yes, elections are going on. Relevant, let's say, topics we are covering here. So political parties are recognized as national or state party under the provisions of the election symbol order by ECI, Election Commission of India. This is correct. At present, there are 6 national parties, and if you talk about state parties, there are 61 such state parties recognized by ECI. Yes, different criterias are there. You need to remember the criterias also. There are 3-4 criterias to recognize them as a national party. Okay? Number of votes and number of candidates getting elected in previous Lok Sabha or Legislative Assembly elections. ठीक है, तो वो specific आप revise करिए उसको. These recognized parties enjoy additional concessions of having the reserve symbol during the elections and 40-star campaigners. These are some incentives for recognized national and state parties. Under the Representation of People's Act 1951, the Election Commission of India have the power to deregister any political party. No, it is not having. Election Commission of India is not having power to deregister any political party under this act. Okay, so this is incorrect statement. So how many of them are correct? First, second, and third. 3 are correct here, right? So C is the correct answer. All right. Now, next question. Regarding how many of the above mentioned species as endangered as per IUCN red data list? So yes, recently we celebrated as International Day for Endangered Species. ठीक है, तो इसलिए ये न्यूज में था. Endangered IUCN status in India. Asian elephant, yes. Endangered. Bengal tiger, yes. Asiatic lion, yes. What about Indian bison? It is vulnerable. Now let me tell you that the article that was in news, Indian Express, talking about, let's say, 10 endangered species in India. कल परसों एक आया था 10 species. उसका जो IUCN status box में mention किया हुआ है, that is incorrect for several species. Incorrect for several. For example, for Gangetic dolphin, they have mentioned critically endangered. It is not critically endangered. Okay, Indian bison के लिए उन्होंने critically endangered डाला. It is not critically endangered. Okay, so that is incorrect. So for IUCNs, checking the IUCN status, simply go on the website of IUCN by simply typing on the Google a name of the species, in front of that type IUCN status and try to see the authentic information. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर 3 species है, so answer would be C. ठीक है, तो C is the correct answer. All right. ठीक है, data method. What was that method? It was in news. It was related to method of preserving seeds that are his ancestors handed over his family. Basically, farmers in Chhattisgarh, tribal community in Chhattisgarh is involved in such kind of, let's say, method, which is kind of, we can say, ancestral method of preserving seeds, traditional seeds for different kinds of crops. So that is very important. Why? Because the new, let's say, seeds which are called as terminal seeds, they are introduced by these MNCs, and this is how it is affecting the biodiversity also. Okay, biodiversity is getting impacted because of these terminal seeds. So traditional seeds are very important, we need to preserve them. A is the correct answer. Details of डोडा मेथड इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट, किससे रिलेटेड है वो याद रखना है आपको. ठीक है, कौन सी ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी है, मुरिया ट्राइब है. ठीक है, मुरिया ट्राइब. नाउ द World Hydrogen Summit 2024 happened. Where it happened? It did not happen in Ghana. It happened in, we can say that, what is that? Luxembourg. Let me verify this again. Yes, it happened in Rotterdam, pardon me, Netherlands. Rotterdam. It is very important port, European port, Rotterdam, Netherlands. What we can say? Yes. Yes, Netherlands. Rotterdam, Netherlands. Okay. So this is incorrect statement. It is organized by UNDP. This is incorrect. It is organized by Sustainable Energy Council. Sustainable Energy Council. So this is incorrect. Both statements are incorrect. Answer is D here. Answer is D. All right. Now, for the first time, India had actually separate pavilion, Indian pavilion at this World Hydrogen Summit, and that's why it was in news. Now, regarding right to private property, yes, right to प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी और राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी, पास्ट में ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है. देखिए, राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी इन इंडिया. सो बेसिकली इट इज अ लीगल राइट इन इंडिया. It is a legal right as well as it is a constitutional right. It is not the fundamental right, right? Constitution may under Article 300A, it talks about the right to property, right? So earlier it was, we can say that fundamental right, but it was taken away. Earlier it was part of Article 19, but it was taken away, and now it is part of Article 300A. So state government has the power to take any acquisition of private property for public purpose. This is correct, but this should happen in proper procedure. ठीक है, तो ये देखिए, state cannot acquire property without proper procedure by this, let's say, यहाँ पर said by the Supreme Court ऐसा है, तो we can say that this is correct and this is also correct. Both statements are correct. Yes, so right to property, legal right and constitutional right हम ऐसे बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है. Next, judicial custody. So you can come across such kind of legal terms on day-to-day basis while reading the newspaper, and you can see the 2021 judicial custody and police custody पे कैसे question बनाया गया है. Right, section 167 of CRPC talks about, let's say, person in the custody for purpose of furthering investigation. This is correct. And this section allows that person may be held in custody of the police for 15 days on the orders of magistrate. That means a judicial magistrate may remand the person for custody up to 15 days, and executive magistrate may order the period of custody lasting up to 7 days. So factually both statements are correct here, and that's why C is the correct answer. All three statements are correct here. Okay, such legal term based questions are common nowadays, 1 or 2 questions in prelims. Regarding heat waves, so heat waves alerts have been given in many of the cities in North India, including Delhi. So how many of the above conditions are favorable for the heat wave? Yes, transportation and prevalence of hot dry air over the region. This is correct, we can say. Absence of moisture in the upper atmosphere. Yes, this is also true. Why? Because the presence of moist air in the upper atmosphere will lead to condensation and precipitation, so it may not have heat wave kind of, we can say, aspect. Now, the sky would be practically cloudless. Yes, that is true, so as to have maximum insolation, solar insolation. If it is cloudy, then the clouds will reflect back the insolation. Large amplitude anticyclonic flow over the area. Now, this is prominent. जैसे हमने मुंबई में देखा है कुछ दिन पहले, या फिर जो फ्लड्स दुबई में आए थे. बेसिकली देयर वाज ह्यूज एंटीसाइक्लोन वाज फॉर्म, and this anticyclone in the upper atmosphere actually obstruct the upward flow of air, and that's why the air is actually bound under this anticyclone. Anticyclone जो होता है high pressure we can say region होता है anticyclone. And in such region when the wind is not moving sideways as well as upward, तो ये जो warm wind जो बनी हुई है hot wind वो वहीं रहती है एक हफ्ते तक. So such kind of let's say conditions are leading to heat waves. So this is also correct. All four, that is D is the correct answer. Next. Yes, recently the researchers at Helmholtz Institute for Pharmaceutical Research have made a groundbreaking discovery about Pendulus parisi with the significant pharmaceutical potential. Now, what is this particular, we can say, species? This species is a species of bacteria. This species is a bacteria species, okay, and it is having several potential pharmaceutical applications. So that's why it is very important. Now, the SoftBank group is going to have a major investment in India's AI, we can say, startups, AI infrastructure in the country. So that's why it was in news. About this SoftBank, it is basically a multinational investment company, not part of Asian Development Bank. Not part of Asian Development Bank. Its Vision Fund is world's largest technology-focused venture capital fund, and it is going to have investment in the country. So this is correct. India is the largest market of AI infrastructure opportunities for SoftBank. At present, it is looking to capture this market. So yes, this is correct. Only two, that is B is the correct answer. Okay, so these are today's 20 MCQs. And yes, regarding Panchasutra test, so 3 Panchasutra tests have been conducted. On Saturday, there was the third test. Now, the next test will be conducted on 26th of May. 26th of May को आपका prelims होने वाला था, जो 20 दिन आगे चला गया है. Consider this as a D-day. ठीक है, तो आपको ये टेस्ट देना है 26th of May. Remember the date. Try to revise, have a revision plan for next 5-6 days and implement that on Sunday. Also on 25th of May, there is voting day in Delhi. So everyone should vote and exercise their right to vote. This is very important to ensure that our democracy remains vibrant democracy.